Hello class. Today we're going to talk about compound interest. Yesterday we talked about simple interest, which was just calculating interest based on the principal amount. Compound interest is a little bit different. It is sometimes called interest upon interest because we add the interest into the amount, into the principal amount, and then we calculate interest on it again. So it is a building process. It is culminated to an end result. And in this particular formula that we're going to use today, our answer will actually be the principal plus the interest combined. Okay? So that's what we're going to attempt to do today. Compound interest is A is equal to P times 1 plus the rate raised to a term amount. Okay? So with compound interest, you solve for the total amount first. Then you subtract the principal amount in order to find the principal, or in order to find the interest, sorry. Okay, so compound interest, here's our formula. Okay, so we've got A equals, well, the A is the total amount, principal plus interest. Okay. P stands for the principal, or the amount borrowed or invested. The R, again, stands for the interest rate, and we need this amount written as a decimal. And our T is actually our time in years. And you'll notice the T is written as an exponent up here. Okay? So let's see if we can do a problem or two to use this particular formula. Okay? Well, again, our A is going to be our principal plus our interest put together. So in this particular problem, we've got a $1,500 loan. It's going to be at 16% interest. This is more like a credit card. Okay? And it's going to be compounded annually for 8 years. Okay, so the A is what we're looking for. It's going to be the answer. Okay, so our P is 1,500, so we will put in 1,500 bucks plus the number that goes in this blank is going to be our interest written as a decimal. So 16% will be 0.16, and then the T is actually going to be our term in years. So in this case, 8. Okay. If we type all of this into the calculator, we should end up with the answer of A right here, which is going to be the principal plus interest. Okay, so let's see. Let's get our calculator up here, and let's type that in. So we're going to do 1,500, right, parenthesis, and then 1 plus the interest rate, which is 0.16, close parenthesis, and then we want the exponent key because we need to raise it to the exponent of 8. Okay, so we hit enter, and you'll notice that our overall amount, the A, is actually going to be, and we're going to round to the nearest cent, $4,917.62. So $4,917.62. Okay, so that will be the A, 4917.62. But the question that we have is, what is the interest? Okay. Well, we know the A is going to be the principal amount, 1,500, plus the amount of interest that you have to pay back. Okay. So now, in order to find out what the interest is, we need to now subtract the original $1,500 that we borrowed. And we end up with the interest of $3,417.62. So you'll notice these high interest rates, like 16%, that's a lot of interest that you're having to pay back just on $1,500. Okay, so this is more along the lines of a credit card. If you maintain a $1,500 balance over an 8-year period, you're going to end up paying quite a bit of money back on that credit card. Okay, so let's see if we can calculate some others using this formula real quick. So here's another problem right here. We've got a loan of $34,100 at an interest rate of 4%. That's going to be compounded annually for 3 years' time. Okay, so what will my principal plus interest be? The total amount that I have to pay back, which is what that A stands for. Okay, so A equals, well, the principal amount is $34,100 times the quantity of 1 plus the interest rate, which is 4%, written as a decimal, which is 0.04, all raised to the power of 3, because we've got a 3-year term. So then A equals, right? So now we pull up our calculator, type in 34000 open the parenthesis, 1 plus 0.04, close parenthesis, raised to the third power, and we end up with $38,245, and if we round this to the nearest cent, 38 cents. Okay, so that is the principal amount and the interest put together. Now, if I wanted to know just what the interest was, I would take this amount and subtract away the original $34,100. So minus $34,100, and we end up with the amount of interest of $4,145 and basically 38 cents. Okay? So that would be the amount of interest that we would pay back on that $34,100 loan at 4% interest if we carried it out for 3 years. So let's do one more and then we'll be finished. Okay, so here's another one. Again, I want to know what is the principal plus interest. Okay, so P stands for principal in this particular loan. We've got a $4,000 loan at 3% interest compounded annually for 4 years. So $4,000. Now, this 1 plus the rate, we know it's 1 plus whatever that rate is as a decimal. So you can go ahead and add that together and just put that number together. So we know it's going to be 1 plus 0.03. So we know that's going to be 1.03 when we add them together. And then that's going to be compounded for 4 years, which is what our time is. Okay? So we type this in, 4,000. Okay? And then parenthesis or times 1.03. Okay? Close the parenthesis to the fourth power. Okay? We hit enter and we end up with 4,502. Okay, and then and if we round to the nearest cent, this 5 here makes this 3 bump to a 4, so 0.04. So $4,502.04. So if we wanted to know what the interest was, we would subtract out the original 4,000 and we would find out that it's $502.04 for the interest. So you'll notice that these two formulas are different because you know our simple interest formula is I is equal to PRT. Okay? And then the compound interest formula is a little bit different, but you'll notice that the words that we're plugging in, the values that we're plugging in are basically the same thing. We still have P standing for principal, the R stands for the rate as a decimal, and the T stands for time in years. And in both formulas, all we're doing is plugging in our values and coming up with an answer. The biggest difference in the two formulas is in the simple interest formula, you're going to have an answer of interest. Okay? So if you need to find the total amount, you're going to have to add the principal to the interest. In the compound interest formula, the A, the amount that you get as an answer, will actually be the principal and the interest. So if we want to find out just the amount of interest, we've got to subtract out the principal. And those are the two big differences between those formulas. Right? Until next time.